she stepped up as my wife and handled that. And there's been many times where I've been at my lowest, and she's always been the strongest to get me back up to like, get back out there. You gotta get back out there and do what you do. Don't worry about what's happening over here. I'm gonna handle that.
Snoop Dogg's entire reputation is crumbling right now. Everything people believed about the family man, the dedicated husband, the West Coast legend, it's all getting shaken up by some wild claims that could destroy his carefully built image. Word on the street is he received DNA test results proving that none of his 4 children with Shante Broadus, Cord, Cordell, Corey, and Julian are actually his biological kids. This ain't some random internet rumor. We're talking about earth-shattering news that's got everyone frozen. What we're looking at here isn't just personal beef. It's a full-blown legal disaster about to explode, and sources say Snoop's preparing to drop divorce papers with one goal: exposing everything, no matter how messy it gets. The fact that he might air out all this dirt after decades of silence is absolutely mind-blowing.
Wife's been by you for your whole
She's your high
career.
school
Your high school sweetheart. She is.
Never leave home without her.
Yeah, that's right. But how has she kind of taken you on this journey? Tell us about her.
I think my wife has been my best friend for a couple of reasons.
For nearly 3 decades, the Broadus crew has been viewed like hip-hop royalty by supporters, a tight-knit squad staying united while others fell apart. Snoop and Shante represented the dream that relationships could withstand celebrity life, money problems, and constant public attention. They got married back in '97, renewed their vows in 2008, after a brief breakup in 2004, and constantly showed the world they were ride or die. Together, they created this whole family empire. TV crews filmed their everyday lives on Snoop Dogg's fatherhood, painting him as a tough-love dad who mixed discipline with jokes. But people on the inside are now claiming the reality was completely different, and warning signs were popping up way before any paternity tests showed up.
The turmoil and the stuff that I put her through in my journey on becoming successful, because I had no understanding of what I was doing her, how I was hurting her.
While Snoop kept projecting this devoted husband energy, he was secretly dealing with major cheating rumors, gossip that goes back to the late 90s. Back in 1998, literally 1 year into his marriage with Shante, he had a baby boy named Julian with a different woman named Lori Holman, and he didn't even hide it. But insiders say that situation created a crack in their relationship that never healed, regardless of how peaceful everything appeared publicly. Some folks in his crew claim Shante held on to that backstab and weaponized it, constantly reminding him that she controlled the money, managed the household, and basically ran his whole career. The notion that this turned into a decades-long power game makes everything even crazier. What makes this situation even messier is that Shante isn't just his partner, she's literally his manager, business partner, and the gatekeeper controlling access to him.
You know, people see the Snoop Dogg that's polished up and shined up, but they didn't see the one that was a rock, that he's seen the diamond in me.
Ever since she officially took over that role back in June 2021, she's been involved in practically every corner of his business operations, entertainment contracts, drink brand deals, and that massive 2023 move when he bought Death Row Records. Out in public, Snoop constantly gave her credit for stabilizing him, even claiming he said, "I wouldn't have made it this far without her support." But privately, those same business arrangements that used to look like partnership now feel like traps, based on what someone close to him revealed. Snoop's lawyers are apparently combing through every single document, investigating whether her control was motivated by genuine love or calculated manipulation. That simmering tension finally exploded into public view this year when Suge Knight, the ex-Death Row Records CEO and Snoop's old enemy, started posting from behind bars. Most people ignored his rants at first. Back in February 2024, Suge posted on X alleging that Shante was seen going on secret getaways to Hawaii with some mystery dude. When it first dropped, Snoop's people shot it down, calling it a jealous hater, trying to start drama, claiming it was complete nonsense. But now that these supposed DNA bombshells are making rounds with lawyers, Suge's accusations suddenly hit different, like maybe he was dropping hints that everybody slept on.
You're gonna establish yourself as a businessman. That I wasn't taught on Death Row Records. All my cars was in Suge Knight name.
Wow.
Some people close to the situation are wondering if that social media blast was actually the first clue that something major was brewing backstage. Meanwhile, Shantae's been grinding hard, building her own brand and stacking influence. She operates Boss Lady Entertainment, oversees various music and movie projects, and even launched the Broadest collection, merchandise tied to their daughter Corey's health struggles. Her expanding empire can't be ignored anymore, especially with everyone questioning the family setup. From an outsider's view, she seemed like the foundation holding up Snoop's entire universe, the force keeping both his personal life and business ventures stable. But his noticeable shift in attitude these past few months, particularly at public appearances, has folks asking if that perfect image was manufactured. In some NBC sit-down last autumn, he called her the good to my bad. But people in his inner circle now paint a picture of someone feeling betrayed, wounded, and humiliated by what he thinks went down behind his back. If these paternity results are legit, and keep in mind, nobody from Snoop's official camp has stepped up to say they're fake, this situation explodes way past relationship problems. We're talking about estate planning issues.
I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have
business ownership battles and the future of a multi-million-dollar brand that took decades to construct. Every single one of Snoop's kids carved out their own role in growing the Broadest empire. Cord jumped into music following his pop's footsteps. Cordell moved into movies and starting businesses. Corey created her own path, blending music with beauty products. And Julian, the most low-key one, built something in the tech space. If it turns out none of them share his DNA, every brand deal and partnership based on the Broadest family image might get dragged into court. The most heartbreaking angle here is that Snoop constructed a massive chunk of his identity around fatherhood. He constantly spoke about wanting to represent a different type of manhood, one built on caring and accountability. Back in a 2015 sit-down, he broke down how his connection with his kids mattered more than anything, calling it a friendship built on teaching and mutual respect. Now, those emotional words he shared back then feel heavy and tragic. According to people in the know, the discovery crushed him, with one source describing his current mental state as controlled fury, the type that simmers but never disappears. Rumor has it he's been having private meetings with legal crews in LA since late summer, getting ready to face Shantae, not as his wife, but as his business adversary. At the same time, Suge and Knight's fresh accusations have brought back old demons from Snoop's history. Knight, who was crucial during Snoop's come-up in the death row days, has been dropping breadcrumbs through his prison podcast, suggesting Snoop's got his own buried secrets about to surface. The timing of these hints has everybody suspicious. In one podcast segment, Knight hinted that family betrayals were coming to light, connecting them to unsettled financial beefs around Snoop's 2023 death row purchase. When he first said that stuff, it sounded like random rambling with no direction. But looking back now, those comments feel more like encrypted warnings, making people question if Knight had insider knowledge before it went mainstream. It's crucial to remember the history between Snoop and Knight is packed with beef, violence, and legal battles, especially during the mid-90 seconds. They transformed from mentor-student to bitter enemies locked in public warfare for years. But in a shocking development, Snoop publicly forgave Knight back in 2018, calling him a real one, a moment nobody predicted. And when Snoop eventually acquired Death Row, supporters saw it as poetic justice, proof that old wounds were finally healed. Now, with these explosive personal revelations coming out, that forgiveness moment might have opened the door to something way more dangerous, a new war over image, influence, and what he leaves behind. Industry analysts point out that Snoop's whole business structure is tangled up with Shantae's management operation, and multiple major contracts list her as co-executive. That means, if divorce proceedings turn hostile, assets could get locked down immediately, freezing everything he created. Then factor in the mounting claims from Suge Knight and whispers about old legal situations getting re-examined. And suddenly this doesn't look like a simple domestic dispute anymore. It resembles the beginning of a complete corporate collapse, the kind that could shake his entire foundation. Those legal clouds have trailed Snoop for years, from his high-profile 1,996 case to various civil lawsuits connected to post-concert incidents. He's always juggled stardom with controversy, but insiders claim this situation wounds him deeper than any courtroom drama ever did. They say he views this as the ultimate betrayal, the moment his own household, the place he spent 30 years building into a stability symbol, became enemy territory. If these tests check out, one huge mystery looms over everything: who actually fathered the Broadest children? And how long was this truth concealed behind hip-hop's beloved uncle image? Sources are floating different theories. Some reference industry-connected dudes, while others suggest people from Shantae's business circle. No names got confirmed yet, but the sudden information blackout around Snoop's inner crew, combined with him reportedly moving out of the family mansion this past fall, makes it obvious a hurricane's already destroying things privately. Even throwback photos look suspicious now. The vow renewals, the family meals, the hospital visits during Corey's health crisis, all those memories that seemed unshakable now appear like they were built on unstable ground. For someone who built his whole philosophy on loyalty, this type of revelation cuts deeper than any music industry beef or public argument could. And while he's quietly assembling his legal attack plan piece by piece, there's one reality his closest allies can't deny anymore. This situation is way bigger than people realize. Because here's what almost nobody's saying out loud yet. This isn't just a marriage ending. This is a complete power takeover happening inside his own household. And Snoop Dogg looks ready for war. Snoop didn't become a global icon by backing down from fights, and people around him say he's preparing to strike with surgical precision. And this time, he's not just battling for his relationship. He's fighting for his entire identity and reputation. If these DNA bombshells are accurate, then Shantae Broaddus didn't just betray him romantically. She betrayed him as a business associate, a co-parent, and the mastermind behind his mature, reformed image. The whole transformation that made him represent growth in hip-hop, the dedication, the family values, the shift from aggressive to gentle is now dangling by a thread. What kicked off as private heartache has morphed into a high-stakes business crisis that could rewrite how the public sees one of music's biggest icons. People in his circle say the legal strategy forming in secret is unlike anything he's assembled before. His attorneys are preparing to claim that Shantae's supposed lies weren't just emotional damage. They're arguing it counts as financial deception. For over 20 years, she negotiated contracts, secured endorsement packages, and controlled licensing for everything from drink brands to digital projects. If she buried the paternity truth while positioning herself as the trustworthy ethical center of the Broaddus household, his legal squad says that could legally qualify as fraud. It's a bold approach, but his team thinks it's the only path to safeguard the fortune he spent decades accumulating. With Snoop's empire valued in the hundreds of millions, the stakes are astronomical. If the verdict goes against him, Shantae might walk away with half of everything, including chunks of his music catalog and even his death row holdings. Beyond all those dollar signs sits the core problem: control. Shantae's manager position gave her complete authority over his image, his calendar, his branding, and every major partnership he inked. That authority became official in 2021 when she stepped in as his full-time manager, cementing herself as the strategic brain behind everything, carrying the Broaddus name. But now, insiders claim that whole arrangement might face serious scrutiny. If a judge rules she exploited her position to conceal personal facts or manipulate assets unfairly, then every contract she influenced could get pulled back into examination. That means financial audits, terminated deals, and decades of business records dissected line by line. For an artist who rebuilt his reputation on peace, maturity, and transformation, this reversal feels massive. But this saga takes an even weirder twist right here. Early in 2025, Snoop's daughter Corey delivered a baby prematurely at only 25 weeks while battling severe health complications. The family's official announcement framed the situation as a blessing and a moment of togetherness during hardship. But people on the inside are whispering something completely different. They claim Corey's medical crisis might have accidentally worked as cover, a method to keep public attention on compassion instead of spotting the growing distance between Snoop and Shantae. Around that exact period, Snoop silently deleted multiple family pictures from his social platforms, and Shantae started showing up solo at various functions, triggering quiet speculation in circles paying close attention. Nobody pieced it together back then, but now it's impossible not to see the timeline and wonder, did the family drama already reach a breaking point? Adding even more fuel to the speculation, Suge Knight, once Snoop's mentor turned rival, kept releasing cryptic messages through his prison podcast. In February 2024, he alleged Shantae had been spotted on private vacations with another man, and most folks dismissed it as stirring up chaos. But recently, he's doubled down, implying that Snoop's entire climb to success might have been orchestrated from the shadows. According to how Suge frames it, Shantae wasn't merely a supportive spouse. She was a mastermind who positioned herself at the core of every business choice, ensuring that nothing, not even sensitive situations or potential scandals, reached the public without her approval. And if there's even a grain of truth in those accusations, the consequences could be devastating. Because this wouldn't just be a divorce. It could dismantle one of hip-hop's most meticulously constructed public personas. A legacy built across decades could suddenly find itself under intense examination, and the questions keep multiplying. How long did Shantae supposedly know the reality behind those paternity tests? Who else might have been aware? And how deep does this rabbit hole actually go now that everything's being investigated from fresh perspectives? Did anyone else in Snoop's crew feel something was wrong? And why would someone running her own successful business empire gamble everything just to maintain a family facade? Some industry voices claim the answer boils down to image management. Over the years, Shantae crafted her public persona as the faithful partner, the woman who forgave, reconstructed, and steered her husband toward maturity. Without that narrative, her entire brand crumbles. So for her, preserving that polished family image might not have just been about saving a marriage. It might have been about safeguarding an entire empire she helped construct. And while all this chaos unfolds, the emotional toll on Snoop is becoming visible to those nearest him. Friends say he's bouncing between anger and withdrawal, distancing himself from the spotlight even as his name keeps dominating trending topics. He's navigated legal warfare, industry politics, and public scandals before, but insiders claim this situation impacts him completely differently. One source laid it out plainly. He said, "He's not just annoyed like previous times, he's wounded. He gave her everything, including his reputation." That type of emotional damage weighs heavy on anyone, especially someone whose whole public persona revolves around composed leadership and unwavering confidence. And now those vulnerabilities in his defenses are finally becoming apparent. This unfolding disaster is colliding head-on with the shadier whispers that have tracked Snoop since the original Death Row era. Suge Knight's podcast has recently resurrected long-dormant allegations, suggesting some of Snoop's early achievements might have involved hidden strings, arrangements, partnerships, and quiet transactions that could now get exposed. Nothing in those claims has been verified, but the timing feels deliberate. Almost like every episode Suge releases perfectly, matches whatever personal turmoil Snoop's experiencing. It's like the former executive can smell vulnerability. For the first time in years, the dude who once seemed bulletproof in the music industry now appears trapped from every angle. Legal dangers mounting, old associates flipping on him, and emotionally torn between disbelief and confusion. People who've rolled with him for years say this moment represents the toughest test of his entire identity. The chill, Zen-focused personality who always preached lifting people up instead of tearing them down is now preparing for the most brutal confrontation of his career. And backstage, we're hearing his legal squad is examining everything, line by line, vintage contracts, joint holdings, and even production credits from his earliest tracks. The objective is crystal clear: detach his identity from hers before courts can merge everything into one shared financial basket. But achieving that means revealing years of private communications, management choices, and potentially confidential material that could expose other high-profile figures. And while this legal war is still taking shape, the cultural earthquake is already enormous. Supporters who witnessed Snoop's journey from street origins to a mainstream personality loved globally are struggling to process this curveball. The same dude who proudly discussed family principles on daytime television is now confronting allegations that his domestic life might have been staged more like a scripted show than genuine reality. Some believe he's the victim who got played, someone trapped in circumstances he never anticipated. But others quietly question whether he also contributed by maintaining that flawless appearance for so long. It's the type of paradox that can transform a legacy overnight, because if the foundation of Snoop Dogg's public image was constructed on deception, then every accolade, every fatherhood moment, every motivational speech resonates differently now. And we can't act like this is happening in isolation. The timing aligns with a broader transformation rocking the entertainment universe. Other major personalities, including Diddy, are confronting serious criminal probes, while long-buried industry dirt is getting dragged back into daylight. The older generation of power brokers is facing scrutiny levels we've never witnessed before, and Snoop now finds himself swept up in that same current. The pressure is legitimate, the questions keep stacking, and the industry is monitoring his every action. Snoop, who was once viewed as the outlier, the one legend who escaped ruin through clever instincts and humor, might now find himself drowning in the same wave, crushing everyone else in the business. The hip-hop world, already rocked by backstabbing, lawsuits, and shattered partnerships, is tracking this mess with intense focus. And if events continue spiraling the way insiders predict, this could mark the conclusion of an era that relied more on manufactured image than authentic truth. Every indication suggests a major showdown approaching rapidly. Shantae, who still hasn't dropped an official response, is reportedly assembling her own legal army. Now, people close to her say she's prepared to fight back aggressively, arguing she helped construct the broadest empire alongside Snoop and deserves complete acknowledgement and substantial financial compensation. If she goes that route, we might witness one of the most explosive public divorces the entertainment industry has seen in years. And if it escalates to that level, this won't just be a private separation. It could transform into a courtroom spectacle that pulls in witnesses from throughout history. Picture former label bosses getting summoned, longtime family connections stepping forward, and possibly even personalities like Suge Knight getting subpoenaed to testify under oath. The entire situation could shift from backstage heartbreak to a complete public reckoning that the planet watches unfold. For now, everyone's stuck watching as Snoop Dogg's universe trembles between preserving an empire and having everything revealed fragment by fragment. The same dude who once preached to the world, "Keep it real," is now positioned in a moment where he's being forced to expose just how authentic or how carefully manufactured his existence actually was. And one thing's guaranteed, this war won't play out quietly. Every action he takes, every social post he shares, every legal filing that surfaces will get analyzed by millions observing from the sidelines. Because when the king of the West Coast feels his throne wobbling inside his own household, the entire kingdom experiences that shockwave in a major way. So here's the massive question everybody's waiting to see resolved. When complete truth finally emerges, will Snoop Dogg bounce back as the survivor he's always been recognized as, or will he transform into another warning story in a universe constructed on illusions and manufactured personas? This saga is nowhere close to finished, and the upcoming chapter might flip everything once more. Drop your opinions, smash that like button, subscribe, share this, and leave a comment. Tell us where you think this insane story's heading next. Until next time, stay sharp, keep watching, and remember, nothing in Hollywood ever plays out as straightforward as it appears.